What if I told you that you have hundreds of dollars hiding in your inbox? My name is Henrik, and I'm the CEO of AirHelp, and I'm going to tell you how to get it. We've all been there. You're going traveling, you're super excited, you can't wait to get to your destination. But then this happens. Delayed. That sucks, because now you're spending all your precious vacation time in the freaking airport, not where you want to be. This you probably know, but what you probably don't know is that you are legally entitled to up to $800 if your flight is delayed with more than 3 hours. That's $800. But how do you get that money? Because the airlines have kept it a secret. And they've made it very difficult to claim. Let me show you how difficult. First, you need to go through a maze of links to find out that what is your rightful compensation is referred to as a complaint for the airlines. Then you need to spend a couple of days reading the law. And after that, you have to fill out 2-3 web forms, print them out, sign them, go to the post office, buy a stamp, and send it by letter to the airline. Hooray! You've submitted a claim to the airline. Get ready for this. Now you have to start calling them just to get an answer. And if you do get an answer, then chances are that your claim will be rejected. Which leaves you back where you started, but now you've wasted even more time and you haven't received a dime. Why not let someone else take that hassle for you? We are AirHelp, and we help you get money from the airlines if they screw up your flight. And this is very simple. First thing, you have to tell us which flight you were on. Second, you get the money. And you do that by going to our website or download the app, tell us which flight you were on. We then instantly tell you if you're entitled to compensation, and we offer to go and get that money for you. But there's something even smarter, because you can claim 3 years back. So we've made it very easy for you to search your past flights to figure out if you have money hiding in your inbox. Let's go to the demo. So first of all, you have to sign up with Gmail. We're going to be adding more email clients in the future, but for now it's Gmail only. Then you search for your flights. And this one you've probably seen before, giving us OAuth access to your flights. And the search for your flights will then begin. This will take some time, depending on how many flights you have. We'll send you an email once the search is complete. Let's go to my dashboard. Bingo! I am entitled to $800 for a flight I was on in 2012. The only thing I have to do is click the button, submit a claim, and AirHelp will get to work and get that money for you. Kick back and relax. You don't have to do anything else. And we've added a little bit of cool stuff on top of that. You can see a world map where you've been traveling in the last 3 years, how far you've been traveling, how many hours you've spent in the sky, how many airports, how many countries you've been in. And of course, you can share on Facebook, on Twitter, Google, you name it. Get a little competition going with your friends. The beauty about all this is that this is free money. We only get paid if you get paid. Simple as that. And this is not a small problem. This is a humongous problem, because there's 26 million entitled passengers every year, but hardly anyone claim it, making it a $16 billion market. And since you can claim 3 years back, there's a $48 billion bonus on top of that. And we've just made it very easy for you to get that money. So now you're probably thinking, Is this too good to be true? It's not. We've already received more than $1 million in compensation from the airlines, and we just started. So go to getairhelp.com, search for your past flights, and get some money. We're called AirHelp, and we're proud to be hated by the leading airlines of the world. Thank you.
Judges.
That's fantastic. Great, great job. I love the theme that these sort of obfuscation companies or the confusopoly companies that make it impossible to get what you're entitled to can be attacked through data. Where do you go from here? Can you attack other areas like class action claims where you have to provide receipts from years ago that you don't have anymore but might be in your inbox? What's next for AirHelp?
You can use the same system for a lot of other things. For example, a tax refund when you are traveling and you're buying stuff. And there's a lot of other things where you can submit claims using the same claim engine that we've developed. But I think our strategy is more within the travel space because you have an industry that's growing 5% every year. It's going to be doubling within the next 15 years. But the infrastructure of the airlines and airports are not capable of following that rapid growth. So you'll see more delays, more cancellations. And so far, the airlines have not done anything to address that issue. So I think our space is going to be the convenience and the customer care for all those stranded passengers that's not getting any help today.
Tell me a little bit more about the response from the airlines so far. Are they aware of you? What sort of conversations have they been having?
Some of them are actually very friendly. It is the law, end of the day, so they have to pay out the compensation. Some airlines tends to be some of the budget airlines are more reluctant to collaborate. So for them, we sometimes don't get an answer, or we have to take some further action to get the compensation.
We're not getting any free upgrades anymore, but that's all right.
And this is international as well.
There's different layers of the law. There's an international, and then there's the regional, and the national court decisions on air passenger rights. So it's different. Right now we support Europe and US, but there are air passenger rights all over the world basically. We just haven't started in those parts yet.
And the other part, when you authenticated, I was really interested to see all that travel data that was coming up. So, the first thought I had was, I'm personally a terrible travel planner, last minute and so forth. And if I looked at my history, I'm sure I would be disappointed in my travel patterns and so forth. But is that data that can be mined that you can start making recommendations on being smarter about travel and travel reward programs and so forth?
Definitely. We can move into that space as well, since we're now know your travel patterns in the past, but we can also move it ahead and say we know your travel patterns in the future, especially because if you're then delayed again in the future, then we automatically notify you that you are entitled to compensation. So you never miss out on compensation again, basically. But when we have all that data, we have the user base, and we know more about our customers, then there's a huge line of products that we can expand our product portfolio with. But that's some of the secrets that we hold for now.
And do you have a success rate that you can talk about yet from this many people have submitted requests versus the actual payout?
10% of the claims are what we call rightfully rejected. So that means that there have been extraordinary circumstances that have caused the delay.
Okay.
That could be extreme weather situations. It could also be that there's an ill passenger or there's a strike in the airport. Things like that where the airline couldn't have prevented that, so they shouldn't be held responsible to pay out compensation.
Do the airlines carry this as an outstanding liability on their balance sheets?
Well, we don't have that insight, but we know that some airlines have a compensation fee on every ticket. So then they actually put on the $1.7, which it costs if all claims were paid out, to the tickets. The only thing is that they're not paying out in more than 0.06% of the cases. So right now they're making money on that. But they can be secure or ensure their way out of this challenge, of course.
So just talking about your secret, so it sounds great, free money, everyone for the taking.
Sounds a little bit too good to be true, to be honest. So what's the secret sauce, and why shouldn't anyone listening right now replicate the same thing? It sounds like there's just a bunch of bureaucracy layers that you have to go through, and eventually you figure it out, and anyone can replicate it and steal your business.
Well, we are being copied every day, so we're honored. When we are not being copied, then I'll be
As an
more
investor,
afraid.
I worry if you tell me that you're copied every day.
Well, I would think, when you look at what we have built of the system, then, this is not something you do overnight. Because one thing is getting the flight data, knowing that your flight is delayed. That comes from multiple different sources, and that takes time to reach the correct coverage. On top of that, you have to build a claim engine, which is based on a claim status machine, where you have to think through the whole process. You have to submit a lot of claims before you realize what is working and what is not working.
Okay.
And you have to apply all of that law from all the different countries to each PDF document that you send to the airline. This is something that looks very simple on the outside, but as soon as
How
you
long
open
did it take you to build?
We've been working on this for more than a year.
And how many competitors do you have that do it too?
In the US, we have 0. Of course, the competition could also be that you decide you're stubborn yourself. You go and fill out all these forms. So that could be a competition that you simply do it yourself. We encourage everyone to do it. If they don't want to do it, then they can.
But you just said that you have a lot of competition coming up every day.
In Europe, there are people who have started also doing something similar. But most of them have not been able to scale to more than the country that they have started in.
So how have you scaled? Like how many flights have you claimed? How many have been submitted? How many have been claimed?
We have submitted claims to more than 20,000 passengers.
And how many of the claims have been accepted or have been paid out, I should say?
Yeah, so out of all those, then a lot of them has come in the last month and a half since we launched. And on average, it takes about 6 to 8 weeks before we get the money.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of, and that's not because of us, it's simply because the airlines take time to answer.
Okay.
But I would say that we've received, for 40% of our customers, we've been able to get them compensation, and the rest is pending.
Okay.
If you're looking at the absolute numbers.
It sounds like a really interesting business. It does sound a little bit too good to be true. As
You
say yourself.
should submit a claim and then give me 8 weeks. Then I'll tell you if it's true or not.
So unfortunately, we're out of time for you guys, but great job. That was AirHelp.